Welcome back to Conspiracy Q, where every week we dive deep into a new conspiracy.
That's right.
And today,
Oh, today?
we've got a real doozy.
We do.
I mean, we always hear these whispers, right? About like hidden hands, secret groups, and all that, pulling the strings. Kind of feels like a movie most of the time.
Yeah, it's easy to dismiss that kind of stuff.
But what if it's real, though? What if there's an actual group, like totally hidden, that's been shaping America for like 200 years?
Well, it's understandable to be skeptical, right? I mean, the idea of some, shadowy elite controlling everything, it feels out there.
Yeah.
But when you start looking into Skull and Bones, this secret society at Yale, things get weird, really weird.
Okay, so Skull and Bones, super secret society at Yale. That's what we're talking about today.
Exactly. The big question is, are we talking about just a fancy college club or something way bigger, like a breeding ground for some, hidden power elite?
Okay, I'm listening. Because that's what all the conspiracy theories say, right? That it's not just a club, it's something way more sinister.
Yeah, and that's what we're digging into today. We got our hands on some, well, let's just call them recently uncovered or maybe classified sources. It's like our own little top secret investigation.
Ooh, I like it.
So we're going to lay it all out. The origins of this society, who's been a member, the weird rituals they supposedly do, connections to, the CIA and Wall Street, even some people who, vanished after getting too close to the truth.
Okay, this is already juicy. So where do we even start? Let's go way back to the beginning, when this whole secret thing started.
1832, Yale University. That's where it all began. William Huntington Russell and Alphonso Taft, those were the founders.
All right, Taft, as in, President Taft's dad.
The very same.
Mm-hmm.
So right from the start, Skull and Bones had ties to the top of American society. And it's not like it was just a bunch of college kids hanging out. It was based on these German secret societies. And get this, they were super connected to powerful banking families even back then.
Okay, so it wasn't just about having fun. They had a bigger plan.
According to these sources, the whole point was to recruit and control.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it gets creepier. Think about the families who sent their sons to Yale. The Rockefellers, the Bushes, the Harrimans, the Bundys, all super powerful, all shaping America's history. And a crazy number of those sons ended up in, huge positions in finance, media, big companies, even the CIA.
So it's way more than just networking.
Right. It makes you think, is it just coincidence that so many Bonesmen end up running things? Or is it something more organized, like a system for placing these guys in power?
I mean, think about it. George H.W. Bush, class of 48, director of the CIA, vice president, then president. And the sources even talk about his, quote, shockingly smooth rise to power.
That's right. And after a career in the CIA, which is by definition all about secrets, it really makes you wonder, what connections did he make in Skull and Bones that helped him along the way?
Exactly. And then his son, George W. Bush, class of 68, president during, one of the craziest times in history, 9/11, the Iraq War. I mean, both father and son, both Bonesmen, both presidents. What are the odds?
It's definitely something to think about. And it's not just presidents. William F. Buckley Jr., the guy who basically invented modern conservatism. Bonesmen. George Bundy, super involved in the Vietnam War. Bonesmen. Averell Harriman, powerful banker and diplomat. You guessed it, Bonesmen.
Okay, so this isn't just a few random guys. It's like a whole network of them in every part of society.
Exactly. It's not just one field. It's across the board. Politics, media, finance, national security. And it's not just a few examples. It's a pattern. So what do you think, listeners? Is this just a bunch of well-connected guys succeeding? Or is it something more deliberate?
And then there's the whole thing about the CIA. It was formed in 47, and just a year later, George H.W. Bush, fresh out of Yale and Skull and Bones, gets recruited.
Right, and the sources really emphasize that in the early days, the CIA was basically filled with Ivy League grads, especially from Yale.
Makes sense.
But it makes you wonder, how much did those existing connections, especially through Skull and Bones, influence the CIA in those early years?
Yeah, because it wasn't just the CIA, right?
Yeah.
There are connections to all sorts of groups, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group, the Federal Reserve, huge banks like Blackstone and Morgan Stanley. It's like a spider web of influence.
Exactly. It's not just about individual success. It's about a network operating across different areas, shaping policy, finance, international relations. And that's what really gives weight to these conspiracy theories, the sheer scope of it all.
Okay, but let's talk about the weird stuff,
Ah.
the rituals, the initiation ceremonies. They do this stuff in the tomb, this creepy windowless building at Yale.
Right, and the rumors are wild, mock sacrifices, skulls, maybe even real human skulls, and this crazy oath of secrecy that lasts your whole life.
So like something out of a horror movie.
And get this, the sources say that initiates have to confess their deepest secrets, their whole sexual history. It's like intensely personal stuff.
Which makes you think, right, what could they do with that information?
Yeah.
Blackmail. Control.
Exactly. And the lifelong secrecy oath, it reinforces the whole idea of an exclusive group operating in the shadows beyond any accountability.
Which makes me think about the 2004 election. Think about this. Out of like 300 million Americans, the two guys running for president, George W. Bush and John Kerry, both Bonesmen.
Yeah, the odds of that are astronomical. And the way they reacted when asked about it was so weird. They just refused to talk about it, saying Skull and Bones was too secret to discuss.
Too secret. It's a college club. What could be so secret that you can't even acknowledge being a member?
Exactly. And it's not just a one-off thing. It's like anyone who gets too close to the truth about Skull and Bones hits a wall.
Like that journalist, Ron Rosenbaum. He tried to expose them back in the 90s. And all of a sudden, his sources dry up, interviews get canceled, and his collaborators clam up.
And then there's Anthony Sutton, this scholar who linked Skull and Bones to, like, global finance. His books vanish from libraries, and then he dies under super suspicious circumstances.
Like, way too convenient.
Right. And even former Bonesmen who've hinted at what goes on, they seem to face consequences. Don Schollander, the Olympic swimmer, started talking about blackmail and national networks tied to the group. Then he just stops giving interviews in 2010 and basically disappears.
Okay, that's seriously creepy.
It is. It suggests that there's something they're really trying to protect, something they don't want anyone to know.
And it's not just about hiding information, right? It's about using their influence in shady ways. Like, the sources talk about Skull and Bones funding and influencing all sorts of psychological research, especially during the Cold War.
Right, and there are even alleged connections to MKUltra, the CIA's mind control program.
Mind control. Seriously.
It sounds crazy, but the idea that they might be involved in that kind of stuff, it's terrifying.
And then there's the money. Huge amounts of money. The sources point to Stephen Schwarzman, co-founder of Blackstone, this massive private equity firm. He went to Yale, super close with a lot of Bonesmen, and Blackstone controls, like, trillions of dollars.
Trillions. And it's not just Blackstone. There's BlackRock, Carlyle Group, Bridgewater, all these huge financial firms, all potentially controlled by this network.
So they're not just shaping politics in the media, they're controlling the whole global economy.
That's what the theory suggests. And that brings us to the most unsettling claim of all, loyalty beyond nation. The idea that Bonesmen are trained to put the order above everything else, their country, the law, even basic morality.
Whoa, that's heavy.
Yeah, it's like their own little world with their own rules, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to protect it.
So what's the end game? What are they trying to achieve with all this power and secrecy?
Well, the theory goes that Skull and Bones is basically a training ground for a new aristocracy, a global elite that wants to control everything. Wars, markets, elections, even entire countries.
Wow, that's some next level stuff.
Right. And the scariest part is they don't want you to know about it. They want to operate in the shadows, manipulating things from behind the scenes.
So that's it, folks. That's our deep dive into Skull and Bones. A lot to think about, right?
Definitely. And remember, you're not supposed to believe any of this. But the evidence is there, and it's pretty compelling. So do your own research, connect the dots, and see what you think. Stay vigilant out there, because the truth is out there somewhere.
And you can find it here on Conspiracy Q, where we're always digging deeper, exposing the secrets, and bringing you the truth, no matter how unsettling it might be.
That's right. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell your friends about Conspiracy Q. We need to spread the word.
Until next time, stay woke, people.